Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tony Vinchelle with the Stronger You Fitness, ASU Fit, and the Becoming a Stronger You movement. So, I was on the bike this morning and I thought about some of the questions that I've gotten from people with regard to cardio and how much of it you should do and different things of that nature. So I wanted to do this. Hey, to the two people who are on, I wanted to do this video really quickly because one of the questions that I get a lot from a lot of women is about cardio training, and I talk a lot about how women are conditioned to do like hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of cardio because they think that, or we're taught that that's how you're going to lose weight, right? Like if you want to lose weight, you've got to eat less, work out more, and then you've got to make sure that you're doing your cardio. You got to do your fasted cardio, and then you got to do your unfasted cardio, and then you need to do like your 40 minutes of cardio a day. Hey, Shandon. And one of the things that I talk about a lot is, how, especially for women, when you do too much cardio training, it becomes counterproductive, and how cardio should be used as a tool and not necessarily as the basis for your weight loss. But one of the questions that I get, hey Shandon, that I get from time to time from runners is, well, okay, if I use running as a stress relief, and I've been told, I use running as a stress relief. Hey, Charlena, I use running as a way to deal with my anxiety. I use running. And so what's happening is we're using running or cardio training to deal with a lot of issues that are taking place outside of the gym. So, and it's interesting because, and I hear this all the time. They say, oh, if I get stressed out, I'll go run. If I, if I get, hey, Master Fee, thank you. I know I couldn't deal with it anymore. I tried, I really tried to grow it out. And then I was like, I'm not about this life. So I just chopped it all off. And so I hear that a lot. And so one of the challenges is, if you're using running or if you're using running as a means to handle your anxiety, and I'm telling you that too much cardiovascular training can be counterproductive to your weight loss goals, then how do you reconcile the two, right? Because one of the things that you don't want to do, or one of the things that I don't want to do as a coach, is take away a coping mechanism that's not drug related, that somebody is using to deal with their anxiety or is using to deal with their stress. Now, this is what I will say before I tell you how I use cardio training properly to deal with my anxiety. Hey, Misha, without overdoing the cardio training. But before I get into that, what I do want to say is this. A lot of times, especially as women, men too, but more so from when I see women, we use the gym as a means to deal with issues that don't have anything to do with the gym. We use working out or going on a diet as a means to create something that we can control, because we feel in that moment or in that time that there are certain things in our lives that we don't have control over. And I find what happens is that, people will come to me and they'll start working with me and they'll say, oh, I have these weight loss goals. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then you sit down and you get into the workouts, and you sit down and you get into the meal planning, and you sit down and you start talking to people, and then you realize, yes, you do need to lose some weight. Yes, you do need to develop some muscle, but the issue is something that has absolutely nothing to do with what is going on in the gym. So before I give this piece of advice, what I do want to say is this. If you are dealing with stress and anxiety and nervousness or anger or hurt or pain or whatever, it's extremely important that you find a way to deal with the root cause of whatever that thing is. Whatever that thing is that's causing the anxiety, whatever that, if it's bills, if it's kids, if it's, if it's family issues, if it's marriage issues, if it's work issues, whatever the situation is, it is extremely important that you find a way to deal with the root cause of that anxiety or the root cause of those emotions outside of the gym. Because what the piece of advice I'm about to give you, it's good, but if you don't deal with the root issue, it can also be abused. Okay, so I wanted to put that out there because, again, the name of my company is The Stronger You Fitness, Health, and Wellness. And I strongly believe that wellness also includes those things that are taking place outside of the gym. It's your self-care and how you deal with yourself and how you look at yourself and how you see yourself and how you grow yourself and how you develop yourself outside of what you're doing with your workout. So now let's go back. Let's go to what I wanted to talk about, which is how to use or how I use cardio to properly use cardio to deal with anxiety. I have had, okay, Fee. Okay. I'm going to get right to you as soon as I'm done. I'm going to, I have dealt with anxiety since I was probably about, 10 or 11 years old. Off and on. It's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be so bad where I would literally have anxiety attacks where I would literally shake. I've actually been in a hospital in my adult life 3 or 4 times because of just having really, really, really bad anxiety attacks. And it wasn't until I started dealing with the root of some of the issues that my anxiety started getting better. But here's the thing. So this is going to take you actually really being in tune with your body and actually paying attention to yourself. So what I would suggest is if you use running as a means to handle your anxiety, instead of running, use the stationary bike. And the reason why I'm going to tell you to use the stationary bike is because it's a lot easier to me because you don't get that runner's high. Runner's high is a real thing. It's like, it's like taking a hit of crack. It's a real thing. And so once you get that runner's high, it's very hard to become in tune with what's really going on with your body because you literally are high. And so if you're using the stationary bike, it's a lot easier for you to pay attention to yourself because you don't get that runner's high. And for people who are runners, this is probably going to be difficult in the beginning. But if you trust me, if you can please just trust me, it'll be better for your cardiovascular health. It'll be better for your knees. It'll be better for your hormones. It'll be better for your biochemistry and your state of mind. So what I do is instead of running, I will get on the stationary bike. And when I get on the bike, I'm not trying to do anything because, again, this is me just using it to deal with my anxiety, right? So I'm not trying to do any sprints. I'm not trying to do anything crazy because the other thing that you have to understand is that when you're anxious or when you're nervous or when you're upset or when you're, yes, when you're upset and when you're nervous, then your cortisol levels are also elevated as well. And so you have to be very, very careful with that. And so what I will do is I will just get on the stationary bike and I will put on some of my favorite music and I'll just go. I'm not going for speed. I'm not going for time. I'm just moving my legs. Sometimes I'll sit on the bench. I'll sit on the seat, and sometimes I have to get off the seat because the seat becomes uncomfortable. But here's what I'm looking for in my feeling, and I want to be able to. I'm going to do the best that I can to explain this in words. There's a feeling that you're looking for, and when you get that feeling, that's an indicator that you have reached your threshold for that period of time, and it's now time to come off of the bike. Because if you push past that threshold, you are now putting yourself in I guess a term that I'm going to coin, hormonal danger. Now you're putting yourself in a position where the cardio is now becoming counterproductive. And so what it feels like it feels like almost kind of like you're slowly draining. And what you're actually feeling is that drop in blood sugar. And I don't really know how to explain it in words, but if you've ever been there, you know what it feels like. And like I said, it's a lot easier to feel it on the bike than it is if you are running. Okay. And again, it's less work, which is going to be less trauma on your knees, less trauma on your body. And it's going to be a lot less likely for you to enter kind of that hormonal danger area where your cardio now becomes counterproductive to your weight loss. So again, if you are a runner, hop on the stationary bike. It's going to be very, very hard to do, but it makes it a lot easier if you just put on some of your favorite music. And then what you do is you tune into yourself. That's the best way that I can explain it. And that's how I knew a few minutes ago that it was time for me to get off of the bike. It was probably about I made it almost 20 minutes. And I got this feeling that it was just slowly draining. And I had breakfast. And as soon as I felt that, I knew, okay, it's time for me to get off of the bike. So now what I would do is if I get that feeling and I'm still feeling a little bit anxious like I am right now, when I get done with this video, I'm going to go home or I'm going to find some place. And I normally keep a journal with me in the car. I don't have one with me right now, but I will stop and find a place. Hey, Brandy, and I will sit down and journal. And just write whatever it is that I'm feeling, write whatever it is that I'm dealing with, write whatever the issue is, whatever it is that I'm dealing with, I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to write. And that's going to help me work through through the anxiety. So now what has happened is I'm able to use my Vice in the gym, right? So I haven't completely taken that away from myself, but I'm also not pushing myself to the point to where it becomes abusive to my body and to my hormones. And then by sitting down somewhere away from the gym or away from your piece of cardio equipment and journaling and really working through whatever that thing is that you're dealing with and looking at it on paper and getting it out of your head, now you're dealing with that thing outside of the gym and it's more internally. So that's it. That's what I got right now. I am about to go. I've got a busy schedule today and I still got some meals to prep because I didn't finish prepping yesterday. So I'm going to prep some meals and do some journaling. But I hope this was very, very, very helpful. And if you know any other ladies that use running as a means of stress relief or anxiety, or even men, please share this video with them because it is extremely, extremely important that we start to get out of that mindset that, you know, if I want to lose weight, I've got to run for hours. Or if I'm dealing with this anxiety or I'm dealing with this, I'm just going to go run and run and run and run and run and run and run. Because what happens is you're not really dealing with the problem. You're not really dealing with the issue. You're not dealing with the reason why you feel like you have to run for hours. And essentially what you are doing is you are literally running away from whatever that thing is that's causing you to be anxious. You're running away from whatever that thing is that's causing you to be angry. You're running away from whatever that thing is that's causing you to be nervous, and you're not dealing with it. And it's important that you understand that you can only run for so long. You can only run so far, and you can only run for so long. And at some point in your life, you are going to have to sit down and really deal with that thing so that it doesn't continue to haunt you for the rest of your life. So I know it was kind of fitness related, kind of not fitness related, but I hope it was helpful. Hey, Linda, I'm out of here. I got some stuff to do today. I got a busy day today, but I love you all. And until we speak again, stay strong, stay beautiful, and always, always, always work towards becoming a stronger you. Peace out.